Today we are going to travel the world in search of references and reproductions of Shakespeare's final play, The Tempest. This is Finding the Tempest. First, we will follow famous Mormon explorer Matthew Rahman as he explores one of the first places we see, the Tempest Theater.
Okay, I'm right outside a playhouse, which is a place where we see the first Tempest performed on November 1st, 1611. The Tempest is still shown in taverns and playhouses in 2018 with the Chicago Shakespeare Theater and the Lantern Theater. Yet, live plays are becoming a very acquired taste, while most people in 2018 find the Tempest in a movie theater, or as it's called, other parts of the world cinema. There have been 4 movie adaptations of The Tempest. The first version was the 1980s The Tempest, which was almost an identical TV movie version of The Tempest. Next, we have 1982's Tempest, which was a modern adaptation for its time of the play with a loose following of the original, while 1991's Prospero's Books is a more direct adaptation of The Tempest told through the journal entries of Prospero. And finally, we have the most recent adaptation of 2010's of The Tempest, which is very strict to Shakespeare's original will, except it's a twist when Prospero changes to Prospera.
Next, we follow junior explorer Jack Mackin to the dense cultural region of Korea, where he searches for the Tempest's story elements in other plays and movies.
Alright mates, I'm here in Korea, one of the places where you see Shakespeare's play remixed. This remix is centered around the 5th century Korea, where the blend of the Tempest themes with Korea's folklore and unique culture. I met with one of the performers and asked him how the play remixes the Shakespeare's original recipe. And he said that the crew who produces under the Makwa Repertory Company uses original scenes from Shakespeare's while adding in their own scenes, using the characters to deal with Korean themes. For example, there is a scene in the remix where Ferdinand and Miranda deal with the theme of suicide as honor, a very common Korean ideal. I also asked him about the traditions and execution of the play, in which he detailed how minimal props are used to create a greater focus on the actors and the musicians on the side of the stage, and they play with music with traditional Korean instruments. One thing that really stuck with me is that in this Korean version, they only speak in Sija, a Korean poem which gave the play a very mystical and unique feel.
We will leave the beautiful Korean peninsula to travel back to the United States, where we meet David Oxman, a film investigator who is working with a film keeper who is called Dolan by the natives of Hollywood.
Shalom, Dolan. Hello. So, you have agreed to take us into the vaults of American film where we can discuss themes and motif of Shakespeare's final play, The Tempest.
Yes, I did say that.
Yes, you did. So, can we go in?
Yes.
One of my personal favorites, The Emperor's New Groove. This movie has class and sophistication and really showed the film world what animation can be definitely the best of the century.
Okay.
So I have been told The Tempest has traces in the masterpiece. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So The Tempest can be seen in how the young emperor in the film is distracted with having fun and wastes funds and time on entertainment.
A pretty sick water park, to be exact.
Yes. Well, his blatant ignorance of his duties as an emperor can be related to Prospero's magic books, distracting him from his duties as the Duke of Milan.
Excellent. But what about Yzma?
Yes. Yzma turns the emperor into a llama in a botched assassination attempt, which is seen as the exile of Prospero from Milan by his brother and the king of Naples, and the emperor's change of heart to end his water construction in an attempt to save a village, which many see as Prospero's change of heart to forgive his brother and the king.
Yes. I love the themes of forgiveness and ignorance from The Tempest that the Emperor's New Groove nods and gives back. Now let's look around some more. Oh, Forbidden Planet. Quite a film, if I do say myself. How does this relate to The Tempest?
Very obviously, in fact. As a father and a daughter are on a planet alone, a young man comes into the scene and the daughter falls in love monster do the bidding of their master, and finally the father makes a sacrifice for his daughter.
Exactly like where the Tempest, Prospero Miranda's peace, was interrupted by the crew, and Ferdinand finds love with Miranda, while Ariel and Caliban do the bidding, and Prospero sacrifices his magic for Miranda and the others. Thank you, Dolan. Any final thoughts?
Yes. Do remember the theme of shipwreck and isolation that are in many pieces such as Castaway and Lost.
Interesting. Thank you, sir.
Good day.
I will be on my way.
That about concludes our journey of finding the Tempest. But many will ask, why would we go to such great lengths to find parts of this play? Well, we did this to show the reach of Shakespeare and how his themes are still relevant today. And the Tempest affects today's society because it sets the literary example of forgiving and not getting revenge. At the time Shakespeare wrote this play, many plays focused on killing to get what was desired, but not the Tempest. This affects the modern world because many stories have a more happy ending now. It set the precedent that not all stories must end with revenge. That is all for this documentary, and for all the Bread team, we would like to thank you for watching. This has been Finding the Tempest.